This is the first small group discussion with J. Krishnamurti, Rishi Valley, 1972.
Are there a group of you who are really interested in starting the school?
We are interested.
Only two of you?
Of course, with the help of the foundation and the center also. And the center also.
So, let's begin. First of all, are there people enough who are really interested in case teaching and wanting to work that out in a school? That's one point. Two, where will you have it? Will you have it in a rented house for the time being, or buy a piece of land or governor or all the rest of it? And three, who will be completely in charge? Who will be responsible? I mean, a committee can say, you will be responsible, or she or somebody else. Will that person be you? Completely responsible?
Together we can.
These are the things we have to discuss. Then, what kind of school?
To begin with, it can be a primary feeder school.
With what age do you begin?
We have to begin at 5, in which case?
5. Can you manage that? You know, they come from homes already conditioned. Even 5, they're already begun. You have to the whole unconditioning of them and setting them free one day. Oh, tremendous work. You understand what it all means, I hope. Or you can try it and see how it works out. Right, sir?
And day before yesterday when we talked about it, you laid your stress on what really is the first step. And if the first step is not taken correctly, then it becomes very difficult to put it right. So yesterday also when I spoke, I said that I feel that we should take good care to see that the first step is taken with a great deal of conscientiousness, a great deal of earnestness and precision. That is, we should know what we have not to do.
Yes, quite.
Unless we are quite sure that we must not go along any of these, because it is so easy a school can come, but this idea...
So what is it you want first thing? What is the first principle?
That there should be clarity
between us.
Clarity in the minds of the people who are entrusted with the starting of
Yes. What is the thing you are entrusting them with?
The teaching.
What?
The teaching.
What is that?
That is the center of that school.
Yes.
The child is like a god. The child is the center of that school. Because unless the school has the child in focus, and you know that the world is destroying, children are being destroyed, we see them in the schools, in the name of education they are being destroyed. And we have therefore got to have this great sense that we wouldn't like the children to be destroyed. This feeling that the child has to be...
Agreed, that's so. Then how do you carry this out?
If you take the child at the age of 5, that means they would have already done some kind of pre-primary schooling somewhere else, which would be
Not pre-primary, but sort of kindergarten they would have gone, at least. Yes.
Can you, what is it you...
Then we could start from the kindergarten stage, you think? At 3, which would be...
We did it in Rajghat for a number of years. The most distinctive feature of the school was the kindergarten school, which Kitty was running, which Malati was running. And I don't know if you want to start a kindergarten, that is up to you. Whether you take them at the kindergarten or you take them at 5 years, that I would say the moment you take the child, we have to see that education has to express, has to project these features, which I will briefly say, that I would like you, if I may say so most respectfully, that you should read what he has written about the awakening of the child, senses, education of his senses, sensitivity, so that it will not be merely a school where you give the child whatever is required in the way of the books and in the way of all that will have also importance, but this other part must figure in our minds very, very clearly. I feel that this is something which you yourself will have to be very clear about, because the other teachers also will have to get it from you. Because I am not sure how many other teachers you will get who have already got there because they have got this great feeling for the teaching. Otherwise, it is our business to see first to start with the teachers themselves. Therefore, it's a very good idea to start
With kindergarten.
with whether it kindergarten or I say that is up to you. That is, I say you are quite free. You should feel free to say where you start.
May I put the question this way? What would you do if you wanted to start a school? Not her.
No.
I mean, what would I do? Say, look, I want to start a school.
Collect a group.
Wait, sir. What's my motive? What is the thing I want to do? What is it really I want to do? I want to bring a child into a world that is so appalling. A child which will meet that and go beyond it. Right? Then you won't be a slave to the damn thing. Sorry. But something much more. So I'd say, now, what is it as a parent, as a teacher, as a person who loves my son, how would I bring that about? Right?
Yes.
That would be my job. I would say now, food, clothes, shelter, the whole thing I would take into account. And also I want to find out if there are other teachers around me who feel exactly like me. And I would tell the parents, look, what we are doing is this, not brutal. We don't want to fit them into the world, but we want to bring up a different kind of mind and all the rest of it. So the parent, the child, the teacher are in communion, or in relationship with each other. That parents don't destroy what you have done when they go home. And the teacher doesn't destroy the child because he thinks he knows better than you do. So it must be a cooperative action. I don't know, on your part, on my part, or your part, on the part of the teacher, the child, the parent. It's a total unit. I would work out, if I had to do that, I would do that. I'd begin with that. And I'd say, now, what is it we want to do? We want to produce a child. We want to educate a child. Again, educational codes. Educate a child who will be terribly intelligent. Not intellectual, but intelligence, deep sense of that word. I don't know, did you read that? Sir, the meaning of that word, intelligence, means not only to keep the mind awake, but interleggere, to read between the lines.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. You mean the Latin original
interleggere is to read between the lines. So I would want, in the deep sense of that word, not between the lines, but in the deep sense of the word, I would like the boy to be intelligent. So that he may pass exam, not pass exam, but at the end, he's so intelligent, he will do the right thing. So I would collect a group of people, teachers who say, look, this is our job.
I feel, sir, that it is very important to start in a small way, so that, as you say, we can slowly find who are those who feel like this. Otherwise, if we start 5 classes and say,
I wouldn't talk about classes or anything.
No.
I would, you see, you must have fairly large number of children. Not too, because if you are only 10, you must have at least 20 to be.
yes,
25,
that's what I
20,
mean by
25.
it.
You must 20, 25.
And this was the idea. We not start all the 5 together, but first collect the
Yes,
small
yes.
children and then
Slowly
increase.
taking people who-
Not only that, and to increase after as
You
they
see,
grow up,
after
to
1
increase
year,
the classes.
when your own resources are a
That was
little
the idea.
consolidated, then the pace of growth can increase. The point
Yes.
is like this. And
But the resources in the form of people is...
Teachers and
yeah.
Yes.
I would establish this relationship, parent, child, teacher.
And with 25 children, it should be easy to do that because it's something that
About
personal
20,
relationship.
25.
Yes, 20, 25. You can then personal relationship between parents and school can remain in that period very vital. It can remain.
You see, Brock would have said no more than 45. First of all, the building. So they've restricted to that. And if you say, look, we don't know, we'll see how it goes, as we may have 50, 100, see, but with that, in that relationship, then I would say, what is it you're all trying to do in that school? In what way is that school from the 1,000 other schools? You must be very clear. In what way do you think it should be? Will be different. So you have to put it down in what way it will be different and stick to it. high water and whatever it is. You follow? Never budge from it. But in a sense, you will more, it's like if you see that doesn't work, you add, but the center of it.
I think, sir, one difficulty would be with the parents. One has to maintain a constant communion with them. Because as far as I know, some schools began this way. And then the pressure came for grading, measurement, success. That's where it's finished.
I don't think now the modern parents are, at least, I don't think they are so much for this kind of thing. Because many people are aware
No,
that
it is
that is not.
ourselves, you see. It is we ourselves who must remain aware, vigilant to see that we are not pushed by the environment a little bit this way, a little bit that way, because if we know our minds, then it is easy for you to carry the parents with you.
I was telling you too, sir, money is the secondary question.
Yes, absolutely. I said that yesterday. I said
Money
that
is not the question.
first have your core, and while you are having this for 1 year, you are running this school, we get 1 year's time to plan how big land you want, what sort of building you want, where you should like to have it. You get a little time to think out these things, then
Would you do that, sir? Would you have a year?
they will have it. You see, once you start with a hired bungalow,
No. Would you start years later after you have thought it all out?
not years. I said 1 year you get to plan the. No, would you like to start now?
No, we have to have a small school first to begin with,
Yes.
and with the idea of going to a bigger place and expanding.
You're giving birth to a child. Conception may take 9 months, but the fact is you're giving birth. And how you live in the producing that child, delivery of that child, matters, right? Now, not 9 months later.
No, now.
Therefore, I say, are you prepared now? Not with buildings.
No.
Prepared now that you want to start a thing. Mr. Premaji, if you want to start a school, but find out what kind of school you want, all your children, as you are capable of producing. If you are not capable, make yourself capable. If I mean, don't say, well, I need a year. If you want it, you will have it. I don't know if you know
Yes.
what I'm saying. Capacity isn't something that you cultivate. It comes the moment you say, look, this must happen. You will have it. Then you have to find out whether you want a school near Madras or in Madras, government,
Right?
or as it was suggested, near between Mahabalipuram and Madras.
That
That's what
Yes.
that. Then the land, I was telling her, if K is connected with the school, I'm not saying it should be connected. If K is connected with the school, his name, then the property belongs to the foundation. Because I'll tell you. You understand this? Not K wants property, but I'll show you. They are buying, somebody is giving land in Bangalore, 100 acres. You have seen it, I haven't seen it. It's all been decided that any land bought, and if any is connected with K, the land must be owned by foundation. Like in Brockwood, the land, the property belongs to K Foundation. I think the new regulation has come in, they've changed it, but it's all under that. Otherwise, there is the tendency for fragmentation, right? And if it is under K Foundation, they won't interfere. We must make this clear. Absolutely clear, right?
But that is as it is today, sir. Rishi Valley works as a completely autonomous unit. Rajghat works as a completely autonomous unit. And the foundation has 2 executive committees. So the work is, day-to-day work is entrusted to those subcommittees of the foundation. The subcommittee in
So
Rajghat.
put them out.
No, you can't turn them out.
Pick it up. We must put all this down on a piece of paper.
I am saying the present requirement of the foundation is like this, that every one of these institutions has an overall supervision of the foundation. I'll explain what I mean. If a principal has to be appointed, we have passed a rule to say that the local committee will not appoint that principal without the approval. The foundation may say, we will find you a principal. Because it's very important who the principal is. Once a wrong principal gets appointed, the school goes out of our hands because the principal will run it with our present rules as they are. So we have to be very careful. When a new principal is appointed, we have passed a rule that the foundation must accept that principal. His appointment must be made by the foundation. The idea is that we will not like any part to go on its own without
No,
reference
that I
to...
realize, but supposing a man really sincere and who understands these come out,
We have no-
and how do you judge him?
You see, the foundation has no desire to interfere. But a local committee cannot get a local person. It cannot become dominate. You see, sir, it's very important that a school like this should not become regional.
No, that I understand.
They are international
but it will be happen to be a regional man.
You see, regional
you have a
man
regional
may come
man.
from any place.
Ah.
But we must make sure that that man has a grasp of this fact. That in this school, the child is being educated not to be a nationalist, not to be a mulki, that he has to be out of
Actually,
it.
we have contact with the
as you
principal.
were saying.
There's something more.
Yes.
You see, what should happen, and I hope it will happen. There are these two schools in India. There is Brockwood, there is Bangalore school, and if you have the school, they all ought to be interrelated internationally, for the spirit of internationalism. Exchange teachers, exchange boys. The whole unit, you follow? It's a marvelous thing if it comes out. So that's one of the reasons it should be, the land should be under the foundation. And foundation says, you do what you want. And we will help you. If you want a proper teacher, proper principal, we'll help you. But you are independent enough. We won't one day wake up and say, get out, all of you. You follow? You after doing all the work and the sweat and months and years. I'm telling you, nobody has the right or the decency or legally to say, get out. Because we're all working together. That's what I want to be clear. We're all working together. Brockwood, Bangalore, Rishi Valley, Rajghat, and your new school. It's all one unit. If that exists, the feeling of that, then you can say, look, leave us. We're experimenting. So we'll experiment in a different way from Bangalore, from Rajghat, from Rishi Valley, from Brockwood. We're experimenting. Then it has vitality. I don't know if you follow what I mean.
Yes, it's not just a mere copy of that.
No, don't. So you are experimenting, creating it new, but in relation to all of us.
Yes, but where does the center here? Amma has got her doubts that the center has no connection with the foundation.
But you have established foundation. You establish a relationship, the center with the foundation.
We have an understanding. We have a definite understanding in terms of what I wrote to Pupulji, what she wrote to me, and what you wrote to me.
We discuss this now.
We have-
That problem of the center and foundation will be discussed in 2 days' time.
I'll discuss it. We'll settle it before
That will be settled in 2 days' time. That
No,
won't be
because she has done
difficult.
so much.
You are
and then-
suspicious.
That is no difficulty.
No, she is not suspicious certainly, but this has to be clarified.
As far as we
Look,
are concerned,
I'm going to clarify it. When Pupul, who is Sunan, Balasundaram are here, will write it down. Your relationship with the foundation relationship.
but I feel sir, that as far as the school is concerned, I don't think there is any complication involved
No,
in this.
So, wait, no, I think I understand, because I've been talking by the hour with them. We will settle this when they come. That is, we'll write out what is the relationship between the K Center and the foundation. Whether the center trusts the foundation and the trust the center. I've been all at it. Well, there is distrust now, perhaps mutual or one-sided, so that must be cleared. If we start with the distrust, let's wipe it out. We must cooperate. Otherwise, what's the point of my getting up and talking all day long? You follow? Then it's not worth it. We must cooperate. We must create trust. I've been writing to Brockwood, I've been writing to America, I've been telling her, we may not have trust, but we have to create it. Work together. I forget, you have insulted me, you have distressed me, you called me names, hell with all that stuff. We'll start anew. And to start anew, we must be very clear what our relationships are. Right? Case center to foundation, please. Foundation to the man who started the damn show, this show. You follow? They are responsible. Okay. They don't want to do something on their own. I made this very clear in Brockwood, in America, in all the various centers, that finally they're responsible to that man. He may not say, well, do this or do that, do this and don't do that, but they are responsible for the teaching, not for the man, for that teaching which they say we won't carry out.
I explained this point yesterday.
Yes.
Last evening
I just wanted to come in open discussion.
And this is all going to be brought out. There will be no stink left. Right, Amma? We start with a clean slate. After we have met, written down our relation, put it down on paper so that they can see it and say, look, if they interfere, this is what we have agreed to. Please keep your to agreement and so on, so that there's complete trust. So, right. So, but we're not talking
About the school now.
School. The school, if you have property, the property is owned by foundation.
Yes.
If you say, no, we don't want property, we'll just start simply with rent a house, that's quite a different problem. But later on, when you buy property,
It has to be in the foundation. I understand.
keep it simple. See the reason why. Not.
No, I understand.
You understand it?
Yes.
It's the simple,
Yes.
logical reason.
It's no problem. I mean, that is not a problem to me.
Right. Then we say, what kind of school to
Yes.
get? This is the
Okay.
problem. What kind of school?
Yes.
If you want the kind of school which we all think we should have, then all of us must sit down.
Yes.
Not only now,
And put
at
it-
Rishi Valley, if you can come to, what is that place? No, Bangalore, no sir. In Europe,
Brockwood.
We'll be there, discuss, spend hours so that we are all clear.
Yes.
Then we say to you, to your group, say, carry it. We'll help you. In any way we can. We won't interfere, but we will interfere if things go wrong.
Yes.
Not out of distrust, or we say, look, please, that's a wrong kind of principle. Don't have him. Right, sir? It's your own, we are helping you not to destroy yourself. Not that we are superior or hierarchical head or,
Yes.
we're all working together. Therefore, we can say, since I trust you, you can tell me, look, you're doing something wrong. Let's talk it over. I can come to you and say to you, so that it's a mutual relationship of trust. Therefore, I come to you and say, Premaji, look, this isn't right. You don't say, oh, well, why not? You follow. It's a discussion. It's an exchange. It's a creative thing. So if that is established, really established, then we say, we'll talk together and say, what is the best school a school that has never existed before? You follow? Not Rajghat, Rishi Valley, never existed a school before of this kind in Madras. Right, sir?
And we'll draw the curriculum and all that.
We'll do it. We'll do it together. A school that has that kind never existed in the world. That means the school exists for the child, not for personal advancement, personal position. Therefore, the child, when he comes to the school, has to feel totally comfortable, totally secure, totally happy. Because he's not happy at home. They're not. Don't let's beat about the bush. They're not, right?
In all homes? Do you say that of all homes, she's asking?
Most homes. Let's call it most homes. I question whether they're happy at any home.
Sir, would you be finally compelled to take notice of the state pattern of education at the end of that school?
I will forget the state, forget the world, forget the society, forget the culture. We are creating new culture, new thing.
Then we can't dovetail it to something. Because that's what's happening in so many of these schools.
That is what I made it very clear that even in Rajghat and in Rishi Valley, we are not receiving government grants in such a way as to tie up the school with the government.
But that not even ordinary private schools, they don't want anything to do with the government because
It's such a government which will just smother you if you give them one chance.
any government,
for
now
that.
especially after the linguistics
Yes.
test, everybody is sort of
Sir,
the
may I be
sons
very
of the soil
realistic?
program. and
I mean,
all
from the point of view of the kind of parents we may have. I would like to be very realistic because I meet so many people. That's for that reason.
I know them.
Yeah, well, the person comes and says, well, a very lovely idea, but you must begin with a prayer meeting. And I'm just giving
Yes.
it. I say, no. Not because a prayer is wrong or because there isn't something supreme, I don't know. But I want this child to grow up in freedom, to discover. I want this child to grow up in freedom. So we have neither a prayer meeting nor a non-prayer, a disbelief.
No, I would say have an assembly.
Assembly should be named.
Have say, look, I mean, they're doing it in Brockwood, they're doing it in
There must be a
Russia.
common assembly before they
There is.
disperse. There must be a sort of coming together. It is not
Yeah.
for a prayer, but a sense of coming
So,
together.
wait a minute. So, I would say you are creating a new school which has never existed before, which means you are concerned with the student who may pass exams, may not pass exams, he may fit into society, he may not fit into society, something totally different human being. He will decide, not you and I and his blasted parents. Sorry. He will decide when he grows up. And it's our job to see that he grows up to face the thing and intelligently say, this is what I want to do. Whether business, whatever it is. Right, sir?
Yes.
So, from there, can you provide a home, a school, where he says, now these people I can trust, which means at home they don't forgive me. Right?
Yes, sir. You see it.
Because the parents are concerned with their own lives, right? With their own jobs, with their own quarrels, with their own sex. Here they have hardly time. And there is really no relationship. When the boy comes, he says, here I am. Right. They feel immediate relationship. If you can provide that, you have done most of the job.
You see, in a school like ours, from the time that he wakes up, the schedule of the day is planned to suit the needs of the child. You can't have in your home.
No, that
Naturally,
we do
it is to suit the father who is the breadwinner, mother who has got a lot of work to do. So the child has to adjust to the needs of the father, to the demands of the mother, etc. Whereas in a school like this, from the time that he wakes up, everything is planned to suit him. When he should get up, what sort of exercise he should have. So it is the child-centered. That is the main thing. It is everything is centered on bringing out, developing the child, giving him a.
So where would you
right
begin? We
advice.
begin with 3 or 5. How far do we go with the child? How far in age? We begin with 3 or
16
5.
plus. Yeah.
But how far do we go in age?
18. Longer you have him, the better.
Yes, sir, but that would be a tremendous job. It would be very
Sir,
tremendous
that
job.
is what it is.
You are at present thinking of a feeder to Rishi Valley.
No, I would forget Rishi
Yes, no,
Valley.
he says,
No,
no,
those
I heard
ones.
building with a small kindergarten schools onwards, then we'll develop that.
If you keep the child till he's 8, you follow what it means?
I don't see it. I mean, the dimensions are immense.
And of course it must, otherwise you have nothing, it's not a school, it's not something new.
You have to plan out very delicately about sex.
Everything, not plan out. I mean,
Think it out.
no, see what happens, sir.
All the necessities.
No, they know nothing till they are adolescent.
Yeah.
To meet that adolescence
Yeah.
is important, not what you teach about sex, how the teacher meets that adolescent age. Because there the boy is lonely, I don't know, he goes through fantastic things. So you have to meet it. So the teacher is going to meet it, not the child, because he doesn't know. So you have to help him. So the teacher has to be educated.
This is exactly what I was thinking.
And that is what I
That's
feel
what I was feeling.
is the most important part, because it is not enough to think of salaries, think of the conditions of service. Because if the teachers' minds are also not given the respect and attention that they demand, then you can't make that team. I have seen how our teams go to pieces.
You
Because,
see, that means, Auchuji, the teacher must also feel at home.
yes.
Yes, first he must be happy, otherwise how can he?
Yeah, but look, he must have leisure. He must have feeling that at last I can sit and go to sleep if I want, or I can sit and be quiet or read. So you must provide him with a good room, good house, good water, good furniture, good pay. You pay him enough. So he feels, my God, here, not the teacher who comes who can't do anything else, he comes here. You follow what I'm saying? See, he must feel at home.
Yes.
Then he will make the boy feel at home. So can you provide all that? That's our job.
Yes.
If we want to start
Yes,
a school, that is the
we'll
job.
sit down.
Right kind of toilet for the teacher, not just this sorry thing.
For everybody, because that's what schools lack. I know that for a fact.
Comfortable bed, nice carpet, good taste, you follow? So that he feels, my God, they do respect me also. You follow?
Whole point is that
Salary?
No,
Start.
the plan for this, how to start.
we'll have to take baths.
Yes, all of us.
No. Don't you know how to start? Why do you ask somebody?
The teachers
Practical
and all
details is
that.
Why do you ask anybody? Why do you any of you ask? Say, look, we want a teacher.
Yes, we wanted this teacher.
Therefore, what do you want the teacher to be? You make him physically happy first. And his mind must be good. Trained mind, not this shoddy little mind. Good, trained mind. Who has read a great deal, who knows a great deal, who has good intellectual capacity. Academically, he must be first class and also plus. So you don't ask me. I don't know, I'm sorry. I won't ask anybody. I say, look, what is it we want? Produce it. If you're interested in this student, you'll have to be interested in this teacher. You'll have to be interested in the parent, so that the parent doesn't quarrel with you. Say, oh God, say, what are you turning out? So it must be, you follow? And the teacher is very important. He must feel happy in your place, not kicked around. Because he's a beastly little teacher, therefore you treat him like a dog. You know what's happening in the world? There is a man who gets 100,000 pounds or dollars or rupees, and this chap is 50.
Yes.
Make him feel happy, have good clothes and comfort. And then he'll cooperate with you. Then you say, please, when you go to the class or whatever, no class, 5 children with you, you know what you're talking about, not out of memory, out of creation. You understand?
Yes.
Right, good.
Then shall we meet again with all
Oh
the
yes, brother. You
technical
meet dozen times. Because this time can't be done in half an hour. You are giving birth to a child and it takes 9 months, but the beginning is conception takes place. So did you hear that the Sumerians
Yes.
never realized that a man was necessary for conception?
Yes, I read that in anthropology. Yes.
Never realized, because they slept probably with great many
Yeah.
men, or there was no marriage.
They
or
seem to
anything.
have connected it with quite other accidentally.
Yeah, because it took 9 months. They didn't relate.
Relate the, yeah.
9 months to bring a
Yes, it
produce
was a later
baby. They
discovery.
never
Yes,
realized.
yes.
But the moment they realized a man was necessary, then fear began.
I don't
Fear.
quite get that. I don't quite get
Because
how.
if anything happens to man, they can't have a
Oh.
baby. Therefore, man was important. Therefore, property, the whole circus began.
Probably even death began then. as a
Death
fear.
began.
Because till then they wouldn't have thought of death as something special.
Death, birth, living is all one thing. Because you had babies came and you didn't know how it came, therefore, but the moment you related to man, the whole cycle began. I was told by a German about who was digging in Mesopotamia or Iraq.
But isn't it important to start in a beautiful environment? But in a rented place, we have to take very great care that it's the kind of place that one wants to start.
No, if we can find a beautiful rented place, not
Yes.
a dingy sort of thing, but then we will begin there. Otherwise, we have a sort of empty piece of small plot of land where we'll put some thatched sheds or something like that till we go to the bigger place.
So for 20 children we start with, say 20 or 30, what would you say would be the number of teachers who could really take care of it? No, but wouldn't you want at least
six,
yes, six teachers? I think we would want at least 6 teachers.
5 or 6, 7 or 6 teachers, so that, the children, they take contact.
So you can feel it. I mean, how it be, how beautiful it could be.
Oh, sorry, but not
Now,
Has to work work very hard at that. Yes, to me. I found, sir, there was a school in which a little bit one of my daughters was working. One thing they did, because I'm very interested in art, as you know, I paint and all. They gave plasticine to these children and made them make a mess of the floor. And some of the designs were marvelous. I was really stunned to see some of the creativity.
But you may do something entirely different. You may have dancing, painting, but it's all different. Don't think in terms of what others have done or copying others.
But in so many schools we find they teach all this music and dancing and plasticine, and the child has never looked at a plant, hasn't looked outside at all, doesn't feel.
I know one, recently, he's an architect. He has built a new campus for some schools, and he has brought this idea that he's brought the garden always into the schoolrooms and taken them out in such a way that they are with nature more.
No, I would take them out for a walk. I said, I would take them out. Say, look at all those trees, deer, monkeys.
So that out to see outside and look at them, and it's quite important.
It's a bit disheartening. Some very distinguished people. The mother comes and says, "How's my child? Is the child? I don't want. Is that child dull? Is that child?"
I said, keep out, keep out.
What are the grades? What grades have you given?
Why should we bother about this?
Look, the pressure comes from them, you see.
I said,
Now that they will send the child to a school where they get gradings,
so I will explain all this to the parents.
isn't it? If they want it so much, they would send their children to those
Yeah,
schools.
that's right. Explain all this to the parents and talk to them and point out, keep out. If you want to help, come in, but don't say they want your old-fashioned mind introduced here. I think I better more or less.
Thank you very much.
Don't thank you.